I've called science the poetry of reality.
I care about the truth more than I care about what people think about it.
The good thing about science is that it's true whether or not you believe in it.
One of the great things about science is that it is an entire exercise in finding what is true. It does it better than anything else we have ever come up with as human beings. This is science. It's not something to toy with.
If this is true, why is there such constant change, conflict, and confusion about the origin of life?
We have a working theory which we know is true.
And ultimately, we know now that all species come from one single common ancestor, which is probably something like a bacterium. Nobody knows how it started. We know the kind of event that it must have been. We know the sort of event that must have happened for the origin of life.
What was that?
It was the origin of the first self-replicating molecule.
Right, how did that happen?
I told you we don't know.
So you have no idea how it started?
No, nor has anybody.
Nor has anyone else.
It could be that at some earlier time, somewhere in the universe, a civilization evolved by probably some kind of Darwinian means to a very, very high level of technology and designed a form of life that they seeded onto perhaps this planet. Now, that is a possibility and an intriguing possibility. And I suppose it's possible that you might find evidence for that if you look at the details of biochemistry, molecular biology. You might find a signature of some sort of designer.
How did we get from an inorganic world to the world of the cell?
Well, one popular theory is that it might have started off on the backs of crystals.
My crystal ball.
Molecules piggybacked on the back of crystals forming, and that this led to more and more complex. But of course, the nice thing about crystals is every now and then you get mistakes, mutations, and that this opens the way for natural selection.
But at one point there was not a living thing,
Yeah.
and then there was a living thing. How did that happen?
Well, this is I've just told you. And I don't see any reason why you shouldn't go from very simple to more and more complex to more and more complex.
I don't either, but I don't know how you get from mud to a living cell. That's my question.
Yes, well, I've told you.
I think it was on the
Try
back
one
of
more
crystals.
time.
On the backs of crystals.
On the backs of crystals is at least one hypothesis, yes.
So that's your theory, and you think that is more likely and less far-fetched than intelligent design?
I think it is.
Biological things are prodigiously, mind-blowingly complicated. They are also very elegant, and they also carry a very strong illusion of design. It looks as though somebody made them for a purpose. And I suppose it's possible that you might find evidence for that if you look at the details of biochemistry, molecular biology. You might find a signature of some sort of designer.
Wait a second. Richard Dawkins thought intelligent design might be a legitimate pursuit?
And that designer could well be a higher intelligence from elsewhere in the universe.
Well,
but that higher intelligence would itself have had to have come about by some explicable or ultimately explicable process. It couldn't have just jumped into existence spontaneously. That's the point.
Does anyone see that when it comes to the truth, modern science has turned into the Tower of Babel? It's like the song from the Weather Girls with a twist. Instead of raining men, it's raining truths, and there's so many different truths to choose from. In the 21st century, truth is decided by committee through debate and compromise, and the most popular becomes the new truth. Are you kidding me? I don't know about anyone else, but I'm so sick of all this double talk, eloquent ignorance, and articulate arrogance. I feel like Tom Cruise in A Few Good Men.
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled to.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth!
Instead of calling these experts on all the half-truths, fake truths, and BS pseudoscience, we've deified these experts and become their apologists, advocates, and defense attorneys. It is insane. We've become so gullible and complacent. When we hear big words, an English accent, or a commanding tone, we fall hook, line, and sinker, and all discrimination goes out the window. But it comes with a price, and we're paying it. Because here we are in 21st century America, within the epicenter of intellect, and the greatest period of scientific advancement in the history of man, and our country has become the black hole of cancer, obesity, depression, diabetes, Alzheimer's, and autism, with no hope, help, relief, or end in sight, and no miracles on the way. To quote one of our 21st century prophets, Elisha Moore, they've sold us down the river too far. Enough is enough. My nickname is the Planet Doctor, because from now on, I'm going to be up Uranus like a proctologist for all the conflicting pseudoscience that you've been trying to pass off as the truth, light, and the way. And we're starting right here and right now with both of you. Now, if as Neil deGrasse Tyson says, science is the best at finding the truth, and you two are the best of the best, can you finally give us the truth about the origin of life and show us the process of how you arrived at it from the other conflicting theories? I'm sure everyone would love to watch two of the most brilliant minds of our time solve one of the greatest riddles of this millennium. From now on, I'm science's devil's advocate, demanding responsibility and accountability for any conflicting BS from here on in. You've been enjoying a century-long free-for-all at our expense. Well, I've got an announcement to make. That's over. You only have the luxury of all this conflict and confusion because of science's original sin and their 1 century of failure to correct the primal mistake of animation, metabolism, and energy. Forget the World Series, the Super Bowl, or WrestleMania. It's all about the challenge of the century. This is what will move us from the age of eloquent ignorance and articulate arrogance to the age of the one truth. Not only is animation, metabolism, and energy the Achilles heel and scarlet letter of modern science, but it's the through line of life, the linchpin between everything we want to achieve and avoid, it's the gateway to unification, and it's the link between God and man. If you don't believe me, finally solve it and prove me wrong. It's a century overdue. I'll be waiting for your answer. Good.